Good morning, if you can say it. It's dark, it's early. Wow, we are at the start of an epic journey. Woohoo! Oaks and blokes, you find yourselves with us here at the Mediterranean Sea. Our challenge is to go all the way from the west, from the Mediterranean Sea to the Sea of Galilee. We're going to fill up the bottle with seawater. We're handing you a very precious bottle of Mediterranean seawater. Look after it, and we'll see you on the other side. Guys, get your watches ready. On your marks, get set, let's go! Woohoo!
James, well done, boys.
Okay, folks, it's a little after 3 o'clock in the morning, and we've just crossed under Hof Achziv, which means we're on our way. We're going to take you through the agricultural fields. Not much to see, but we're in.
Just like today.
Right, 5k's in. That first section was through the agricultural fields. We've got 1.5 kilometers and we head off-road on Hof Achziv. Join us. Okay, folks.
Come on, Vicky!
We've reached the
I'm
Nachal.
going in the water, you know that.
Avg Pace going to show us the way.
Just over there, huh?
Stage one. This is really where it begins. We are climbing 700 meters over the next 20 kilometers. So you may not feel the hills yet, but they're a coming. Here we are talking comrades. It's not so cold, eh? Okay, folks, 18k's in. We are at the foot of Mount Meron. This is really when the climbing begins, and we'll show you sunrise en route. Everybody's in good shape.
Ja, lekker.
Yeah, lekker, as they say. Beautiful sounds of the morning. They're the oaks and the blokes. They're all in good shape. Feet are wet. Just over 18k's in. Okay, folks, going to introduce you to the chaps later on. You'll get to know them along route. But in the meantime, these are oaks and blokes.
Just warming up.
Just warming up. And we've got coffee coming up in an hour and a half. How's that? Okay, we've reached the top of Mount Meron. Have a look there. There's the sun and the peak of Mount Meron. Watch the mud. Dog right. Look good for a second. Yeah, Viggy, I got a bone to pick with you. Just don't know. Look at that dew. Going due east, and you can see the dew.
Never any undue attention.
Very undulating. Today is officially the spring solstice, so we're feeling the warm kiss of the sun. Okay, so we've broken this run up into 5 segments. So the first segment is the longest of the segments, 30 kilometers, with a total climb of 720 odd meters, which gives us 2,300 feet of climbing. So we're almost done that. The plan is to get to the supporting crew and have a cup of coffee, a little bit of breakfast, a little bit of shachris, a bit of spirituality. We'll thank the good Lord for our health and for the ability to do this. So segment 1 almost done. It's been beautiful, most of it in the dark, but we had gorgeous dew and sunlight and the bird sounds and the cows and the flowers and the fruits. Lots of water, הרבה מים. So just wonderful. Enjoying it thoroughly. So we'll see you soon. We want Mashiach now, we want Mashiach now, we want Mashiach now. We don't want to wait.
I'll settle for a bit in a hot supper.
There we go, folks. Woohoo! 30 kilometers.
We're done.
Segment 1 done. Here's the support team. Hey!
Really? You couldn't park down the hill?
Come on. Good to see you. Dr. Tuvia Book. Amen. Hallelujah.
We're going to do Musaf now quickly. אנחנו עושים Musaf עכשיו.
Okay, chaps. Stage 2. Let's do this.
Where are we off to?
This way. Okay, we've got 2 soldiers, Eitan and Avishai. They've decided to join us. We feel safe. We have Israeli soldiers.
You're great guys.
Trust me, they're stronger than we are. Anyway, we'll get to know them soon. We're on our way. Yeah, look at these Africans. They're not scared of cows. Straight past without even a blink of an eye.
I know African. I'm an Englishman. Oh, fucking hell.
Ah, let's keep it clean. Let's keep it clean.
Did you see it? It jumped.
It's what I call great fuel on the run. It's called a B&B, banana and bisli. Ideal snack. It's just a bugger having to carry it, but it's really a delicious snack. Yum. Behind me is Avigdor Book. You may recognize him from some of the vlogs. And the legend behind him, Saul Kramer, fellow comrade. We've been at Comrades together. Used to live in Modiin, the city we live in. So good to be out here. The stage, Laka brother. So the stage we're doing now is a 12-kilometer segment. It's one of the toughest because it takes us to the highest point of the course, which is Mount Meron. This is where we do the majority of the climbing. And we give ourselves these little walks, but you see, as soon as the camera comes onto them, they run.
We run
So
like beasts.
like beasts. But yeah, back to the altitude. So this is really the segment where we work in terms of hill climbing. But I promise you, you will be seeing views that are just more than breathtaking.
Marabu Masecha Hashem.
There we go, Marabu Masecha. Today happens to be the first of the months. You know what this month is? Nisan. We are experiencing at this very moment the spring solstice, which means this is Rosh Chodesh Al Kol HaChodashim, the head of the months of the year, and we'll talk about Ma Rabu Ma'asecha, a beautiful prayer called Barchi Nafshi. Maybe we'll even sing it for you later, which we read on Rosh Chodesh, and it talks about God's beautiful creations. And just look around you. It's all here in the Holy Land. Just look at this.
Walk to your left now. To the box.
Okay, folks, we have a nice little stop coming up. This one is called Ein Zvuv, the spring of Zvuv. Tiny little pool, but it is tempting even at this stage, but I don't think the guys want to wait too long or want to stop too long, but I'll quickly give you a show here. Ain't that romantic, eh? Clean. Clean as can be. How's that feel?
Oh, glorious.
Nice. Look at this. Look at the shape of this mountain. How's that?
It's a nice size for a mikveh.
It is. It's a perfect mikveh. This is where we usually do. You want to go in? Rosh Chodesh mikveh. I want to point out this magnificent sponge. This is what you call a perfect conical hill, and it's all made of limestone, but this is what drinks the rainwater. Hence we have the spring right next to it, so all of the water seeps out the side of this mountain, and a perfect place to come and picnic. But this one's a tough one to get to. No roads. You have to hike here. It's taken us 5 kilometers to reach this point from Gesher Al Kush, and Meron is another 4 kilometers from here, the field school. So either or, you can park at the field school and walk west to this point, 4 kilometers, or park at Gesher Al Kush and take a 5 kilometer walk to the east, and you'll find yourself here. Bring a picnic, bring a bottle of wine maybe, cheese. It's very romantic out here.
And 3 Sherpas.
And 3 Sherpas, exactly. At least 3 Sherpas. We're just doing intros. We're not going to get personal. We'll do that on the mountains when we see who can breathe up those hills. Starting with Saul Kramer, fellow comrade. This is Ami.
It's good. It's after 5 hours. You're now asking my name. That's good. Oh, that's good.
It's the local rabbi. Jason Glick. Danny Yamini. James Ranan. Avigdor Book. So we are in Meron Nature Reserve. Can I get a feeling? So what is it like for you guys? Quick one.
Beautiful. Awesome.
In a word, one word, what is it like?
It's
Spectacular. Gan.
Special.
Gan Eden, 2 words. Yeah.
Spectacular. I want Saul's word.
James, good one.
Oh, is that really creative, James?
A beauty.
I don't have to be
Let's
creative.
go. There's always one show off in the group.
At least it's not show them us.
But if you're going to show off properly. Folks, this requires a lie down. It's not often you see these. These are not enemies. These are the purple versions. I've been showing you the red ones, but have a look here. There is a bed of purple poppies. Kalaniot. Kalaniot. Let's run through it a little bit. We'll show you. Isn't that stunning? Kalaniot, anemones.
Like poppies?
Yeah, poppy family.
What word you use?
Say again?
What's the word you use?
Anemone.
Anemone.
Anemone. But they aren't enemies, they're good flowers, good friends of the family. Our first cut love, the strawberry trees. Aren't they magnificent? Beautiful rusty red barks. That gives you an indication that we're coming close to the mountain of Meron. Look at that. Wow. Look at those colors. Avigdor is keeping a good pace. He's our pacemaker up ahead. Steady, strong, smooth. This is the last little climb before we reach the field school base camp, Mount Meron. Check out this incline. We're just over 40 kilometers now, and this comes to give you a little wake-up call as to what needs to be done today. This is a teaser for Mount Meron. That was superb pacing.
Absolutely.
Let me tell you, that was solid for a good few kilometers. How beautiful is that section?
Wow, incredible.
And
There's
this,
no words. I wish there was words to describe that. It's just experiential and being at one with nature. I actually felt like I was part of the forest. It was the trail was like within the trees. It was kind of like it was natural. That sounds a crazy thing to say, maybe
so true.
not so clever, but I just felt like really at one with nature.
You looked a part of it, I must say. I was following you weaving like this.
Awesome.
But what do you think of this teaser? This is the official teaser for Mount Meron. So
Yeah.
get ready for it. Let's go meet Aaron.
Here he comes.
Okay.
Here he is. Oh, yeah, but the guys have to put this back in.
Aaron, looking good. How was it?
Rough.
You look fresh. Okay, we've had a quick stop to feed, freshen up.
We are on the IMC now.
We are on the INT, the Israel National Trail. We are beginning our climb up Har Meron.
Yes.
We will
Run up to the top, buddy.
We will soon be at 1,208 meters above sea level. Let's do it. Almost halfway up. I'm hoping we can get a view towards the sea. Let's see. Oh, a little bit hazy.
Wow.
But look at that, guys. We have crested all those hills.
That's where we came from?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm pointing in the direction of Nachal Achziv, and that little sharp cliff, I don't know if you can make it out. We walked past there via Ma'alot up the bottom slopes of Mount Meron, the foothills, and now we're on the main peak. So as mentioned earlier, Mount Meron is 1,208 meters above sea level. It's actually Israel's second highest mountain. The highest is the Hermon, and here Meron in the central Upper Galilee. Ain't it a beauty? There you go, the cedars of Lebanon. Keres balbanon yizge, shtuli beit Hashem. There we are, we're feeling it.
What a run up, Har Meron.
What a run! Oh!
What beauty!
A beauty! Snow capped! Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. Did we promise you a view or what? Snow-capped Mount Hermon, Dalton Valley in between these two mountains, the sponges of the land of Israel. Ah, fabulous, fantastic.
Fantastic stuff. Is good.
Check out the link above. This was Yam El Yam from last year. We can compare the visibility, but I'm just going to point out how much you can see from here. Due north of us, Lebanon. Then if you move your eyes a little bit further to the east, you've got the snow-capped mountain of Hermon. In between the Hermon and us is the Dalton Heights. And the horizon, the hazy horizon, is the Golan Heights. And here we have the highest peak of Mount Meron, 1,208 meters. That is the intelligence outpost.
Oaks and blokes.
That is 44 Ks. But if you look at the profile here on the Garmin Phoenix 6X, you can see we have reached the highest point. So it's all downhill from here, but not simple downhill.
Walking wounded. That's not on camera, is it?
No. Okay, folks, feeling so good.
Oh,
loving every step.
awesome.
And there's a beautiful sight coming up,
Cannot get enough.
which is the team. Hey! Always good to see these people. You recognize this guy? How you doing? Glad you arrived safely.
Shortcut. How's the shortcut?
Here we go, folks. That is stage 3, 45.55 Ks. Here we go, Ami.
Somebody's controlled Rubio.
Nice one, James.
You're running at the back.
Welcome to the peak. Welcome, lads. 45 Ks in the back. Looking smooth.
10 minutes, guys.
Okay, guys. The group is growing. Daniel Cohen has joined us on the journey. 5 kilometers, listen up, 5 kilometers, 448 meters we drop.
Nice.
Okay, so that means plenty of down. Keep those knees sturdy. Let's roll down the hill. Are we ready?
You're the best, brother.
Aaron,
Run safe.
we love you.
I don't know what that does.
Go on.
I think they think it's 80.
That's it. Good attitude. Why, Mickey? Why? It's such a beautiful spot. So folks, here we have a beautiful cistern. Back in the day in the Mishnaic times, this would be a source of water. This is how loads of the pigeons. So this is why they call it the Holy Land. See this tree? Look, it's got muscles like Biggie. Archi nafshi et Hashem. Barchi nafshi, barchi nafshi, barchi nafshi et Hashem. Horrible whistle. There's the spring. Open it up, come on. That's it. Facing Sfat. He's running towards Sfat. It's not every day you can do that. One of Israel's 4 holy cities in front of us. Jerusalem, Hebron, Sfat and Tiberias. Have a look here quickly, it's worth it. Oh, you missed it. Ein Zeved, wow. Check the fish. Ein Zeved, brother. I had a good swim here. You want to get in? Nah.
Wow.
Come on.
Cool.
I thought they're fishing.
How's this for a picnic with a view?
Where's the Sfat?
Why is it my picnic? Huh?
Where's the Sfat?
So it's Sfat is in front of us?
I'm just don't turn.
Oh, I won't turn the camera now.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just taking a picture.
So yeah, the holy city of Sfat. You can see the old city, the Ir HaAtikah just to the left hand side. And you can make out the cemetery where the Ari HaKadosh is buried. And there's also another mikvah, one of the coldest in the land of Israel. Wow, every time I visit Sfat, that's what I do. I head down to the spring. It's in a cave and you get fresh water coming from the mountain. It's just something special to experience. And behind us we have Ein Zeved. Some people also use that as a mikvah. And I just want to point out, looking north towards the Hermon, you can now make out the edge of Meron. Soon we will be able to see Kever Rashbi, the tomb of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai. And in the distance you can see Gush Chalav. That's where Yonatan Gush Chalav, from the Second Temple period during the Great Revolt, that's where he came from. And today there's a Christian Maronite community. So it's one of the minority groups that live here in the north of Israel. So it's a combination of Druze, Maronites and Jews. And the forests here that surround Sfat is just littered with the tombs of the righteous. Kivrei Tzadikim, you have these blue domes, and many Israelis, they do their kind of pilgrimage to the different rebbes of the Mishnaic and Talmudic period. So friends, you have to come here. If it's not on foot, come and drive these hills, come and stop at these spots, breathe in this holy air. And like I mentioned, 4 holy cities in the land of Israel, Sfat being the home of Kabbalah, deep mysticism. We've got Jerusalem, which is of course the seat of the temple, and then we have the mamas and the papas buried in Hebron and Tiberias, the other 4 of the holy cities where Shalom, where the Yerushalmi Talmud was canonized and completed in the 5th century. So it's all here. You know, there are these trail runners that actually run the 4 holy cities. The land is small enough yet rich enough to see it on foot. Okay folks, where I'm pointing is the tomb of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, one of the most visited tombs in the land of Israel, if not one of the most visited sites. Come Lag BaOmer, the 33rd day of the Omer, which is the birth and the death day of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, and also Hillel and Shammai are buried around the corner. So definitely a worthwhile stop on your visits to the north. Jason has become an official Ultraman over the 50k mark. Wonderful. Hey,
50.1.
what a memory,
Got a
Tiff.
lot in him.
50.1 and plenty more to come.
Plenty left in the tank.
The chair of Elijah, Kiseh Eliyahu, that's what they say. Eliyahu Navi, Eliyahu Tishbi, Eliyahu Hagiladi, from the mountains of Giladi, not far off from here. But this mountain, what should we say? We have a Cohen amongst us.
Yeah.
Daniel Cohen.
Another one.
He's putting me on the
Three.
spot.
Jason as well.
Well, is there a connection between Sfat and Meron? What is this whole hope of a messianic redemption? Why is this Kabbalistic view that idea that the redemption, the Geula, will come through Meron?
I'm guessing if מצפון תיפתח הרעה, so the רפואה למכה or something like that is from the Mashiach that will probably also come from the tzafon, but I've never learned it.
Yeah, so
From Meron.
Sounds like
where's yeah,
Meron
so,
and then to sorry, where were we put Severia or the other way?
so no, basically, I believe this is brought down somewhere in the Zohar that there's a deep teaching that the hope of the return of Mashiach ben David will first be through Meron, and he will enter Sfat and then head to Jerusalem. But it's an interesting thought if you think about the return of the Jewish people in modern times. We really settled in Meron and Sfat in the late 1800s. Where it all wasn't even in the 1500s. The Spanish Jewry returned, and this is where we started to yearn and hope for the return of the modern state.
Right.
And only Jerusalem only came in
fair.
1967.
Yeah,
So
fair.
in that sense, we have that.
We've actually lived that out already.
We lived that out already. So who knows? You know, deep Kabbalistic teachings. This mountain
awesome.
has brought more in terms of spiritual depth to the Jewish people than any other. And it's interesting that most Jews learn Kabbalah that's brought to us from these mountains. So there we go. Tzfat and Meron, Kiseh Eliyahu, 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 Hagila, Bo Elenu, Mashiach ben David bim, Heraya, Bo Elenu, Mashiach ben David. והשיב לבבות אל הבנים ולב בנים על אבותם.
Mara asks why, whenever there's an issue, you know, when there's 0-0 at a soccer game, what do they say? Teko, נכון? ומה זה תיקו? נכון, after the fact that we say at every Brit Milah and at every Pesach, the fact that he's here,
Right.
חלק ממנו חי, whatever that means, ולכן, כאשר יש לנו שאלה, אז אנחנו שואלים מישהו שהוא יודע ומכיר הזמן. ולכן אנחנו עם תיקו ולא מקו.
And where do we see that Moshe really doesn't know like the future limud?
Go on.
Comes to the Beit Midrash and sees Rabbi Akiva.
יפה.
Oh, yeah.
Talking about all these
Yeah.
opinions, and he was
He's
like,
gonna, and he'll decipher all the ketel.
yeah.
Beautiful.
How wonderful to be surrounded by modern sages bringing down these Torahs on Mount Meron. Only in the Holy Land, people. The Torah comes alive with life on the hills. It's Eid Israel, Mitzrayim, Beit Yaakov, Me'am Loez, Aita Yehuda.
This is such an unbelievable seal.
Yeah, you can't get better than this. Honestly,
This is going back to the Tanaim.
this is it. This
And
is
the
the hood.
competitive side of me is like, come on.
Chodesh Tov, Chodesh Tov. So, those chaps are probably going to do what's called hitbodedut, where they're going to go into the forests and cry out, Tate! Get in there. Na na nachman. Meuman. Rabbi Nachman, Nachman Meuman. Look at the soldiers. The Chayalim are having a break. מה קורה, חבר'ה? יא, אלחמדולillah. חודש טוב. מה זה?
השמאי, הקבר של שמאי.
לא, זה לא פה. אולי בהר הזה, כן.
זה בהר הזה כנראה.
כן. בהצלחה, חודש טוב. כל הכבוד. Coming in with a soldier, how cool is that?
You're the coolest. It's not join you, right?
Stage 3 done. In the bag. What a drop. Gee, 717 meter drop in 5 kilometers. Couldn't have been better. And oh,
Still here, buddy.
look at this.
Still here waiting.
Going so strong.
Still
Aaron,
going strong, boy.
are you a coin?
No, but still going strong.
Ah, chazak. Really beautiful. That was nice. Exactly. That's the answer I was looking for.
It's meant to be able to swim up there.
There we go, Solas. Welcome to Meron. Stage number 4. We're entering Nachal Meron. Check it out. Woo! How cool is that? I mean, there's always light at the end of the tunnel. Oh! There it is, guys. The holy
Beautiful.
Nachal Meron, really gorgeous. Right, folks. Nachal Meron is going to take us down to Nachal Amud, and eventually we're going to turn due south towards the Kinneret. This segment we're going to drop 675 meters, so we continue our downhill journey. But many sections are going to be very pretty for you guys, but not so pretty for us. We'll be climbing ladders, dangerous cliffs, and this is when a tour guide starts to stress. Hopefully we can keep the pack together, and please God everyone, I'll be safe and well. But stay tuned, great stuff coming up.
Almost there.
Getting ever closer to Sfat. Have a look at that. This is the leading peloton. What a nation, Am Israel, the nation of Israel, made up of all sorts. What an atmosphere. Folks, let me tell you something special. 55.82 kilometers on the clock, and we've reached the beautiful waters of Nachal Amud. Just behind me, Sfat. So I have the privilege to have Dr. Tuvia Book with me. Dr. Tuvia Book. We're going to do a little bit of a shtick for you here. I'm just going to introduce the time period. I want you to think about 1492, the Spanish Inquisition. The Jewish return comes to these hills, to Sfat behind us, and there are many stories of the Mekubalim who used to bring their students, the Kabbalists used to bring their students down to this stream to teach them Torah. But here later in history we've got a building from the British Mandate period. Bring us into the picture. What was happening here during those times?
During the British times.
British times.
Well, Sfat was a very important strategic site, and when the British came, because of its strategic importance, they built a massive police station in Sfat, another one on top of Sfat on Har Canaan, and they needed water, so they basically took old Arab pumping stations and revitalized them. And so all these modern stations brought water into Sfat itself. But the incredible story about Sfat is what happened after the British left. When the British left, they basically gave all the fortresses to the Arabs, the strategic fortresses, and for the Jews there, it was very difficult because most Jews were ultra-Orthodox Jews and were not fighters. The Haganah smuggled in a few men, but they didn't have heavy weapons or machinery, and all the high ground was controlled by the Arabs. And there's an incredible story of what happened in Sfat, this famous story of the David camp.
And folks, you know, it was liberated before the State of Israel was declared. The 10th of May 1948, Sfat was liberated and was in the hands of the Haganah and the Palmach. So much to share, but the best thing to do is to come for a visit. This is just a taste of what can be seen in around the hills of Sfat itself. We're going to have a little snack time. So good to have these soldiers. We met them way back at the 15-kilometer mark. Where was that? Something like, we were thinking to ourselves, they'll stick with us for 2-3 kilometers. Truth be told, they've been leading the pack. So you see, they breed them strong here in the land of Israel. Hazak. Halavai, halavai. These guys are going to do shlichut. They're probably going to be in Canada or Australia. So stay tuned. 8 ton. 8 ton. 8 ton and Avishai. Check them out. Toronto, Thornhill, or maybe down under. Sydney, Melbourne. Exactly. Good on you, mate. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Dun 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 dun. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. Am Yisrael chai. Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael chai. Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael chai. Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael chai. Am Yisrael chai. Hey. Am Yisrael chai. Hey. Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael, Am Yisrael chai. Hey, חבר'ה, מה נשמע? It's from Modiin. Sfat is, as the crow flies, about 2 kilometers from here. And let's just finish off that story about the Davidka.
Yeah, and the War of Independence started in 1947, not in 1948. It started with the 29th of November 1947, the first stage of War of Independence. And the Jews were heavily outnumbered and also heavily outgunned in Sfat itself. And so a few Haganah guys managed to sneak in, and all they had with them was one homemade mortar. And his name was called Davidko, or Little David. It didn't really do much except to make a hell of a lot of noise. So basically what happened is they fired it literally over the division between the Arabs and the Jews was one alleyway of stairs. Yeah. And they fired it over, made a huge noise, the ground shook, not much damage, and the next day it started to rain. And then Palmach had a few Arab speakers and they shouted across, you guys know that after you drop a nuclear bomb, there's nuclear rain. And as crazy as it sounds, and there's actually documented evidence of this, the rumors spread around the Arab quarter the Jews have got some kind of secret weapon, that's why it's making such a noise, and it's raining in the middle of May that never happens in Sfat. And the next day the Jews woke up to find the Arab quarter totally deserted, including that strongly fortified British fortress. The gates were wide open, and that's how Sfat was taken. And if you go to Sfat to this day, you see this teeny little metal mortar right opposite the British police station. And as Daven Ben-Gurion famously said, to be a pragmatist in Israel, you need to believe in miracles.
That's it, folks. It's a land full of divine intervention. And if that is not one intervention which we have lived out and seen in our lifetimes, then I don't know what. And the prophets said the fear of God was in the enemy's hearts. It's one of those stories that is worth speaking about because nothing in this land should be taken for granted. And we live with miracles daily. And for us to do what we're doing, running from sea to sea, crossing the Holy Land from the west to the east on Rosh Chodesh. This is really the month of all months. And it's on a Sunday when the tabernacle was actually erected. The day that Moshe erected the tabernacle before we reached the promised land happened to be on a Sunday. And here we are on a Sunday in the promised land, and the Shekhinah, the divine presence, is resting back at home with Am Yisrael. So welcome home. Let's go and see some more beauty. Go back to the car. We'll see you soon.
Take that, go back to the car off.
Okay. Am Yisrael Chai. Ho! Call us, brother. Call us when you get to the car. Enjoy the backdrop. I'm not doing this to focus on me. I want you to look behind. Look at that. Shvil Israel, the Israel National Trail, orange, blue and white. White for the snow that you saw on Hermon, blue for the sea where we started, and orange in the desert. Not taking you to the desert yet. Next time. 1,200 kilometers of trails, either starting in Eilat and ending in Dan, Kibbutz Dan, or starting in Kibbutz Dan, finishing in Eilat. Traverses the entire promised land. Michael Wardian is the fastest known man to have traversed that route in 10 days, 16 hours and some odd minutes. How's that? Snakes and ladders. Nothing like hanging out at the olive tree. Yeah. With a nice view.
It's amazing. Beautiful place.
Paradise on earth. Okay. Wow. Look at that. Ain't sheer beauty. Okay, we've come to a very tricky section. We've just climbed down the ladders of the cliffs, and now it's up and down these cliffs. Really is a time that tour guides stress for their fellow hikers, runners and tourists. So take it easy, step by step. Yeah, I will now. Look at this. Okay, now they've been scared off, but watch, in a moment they're going to be rolling these. Check this out, give them a moment. Watch out, watch out, watch out. Come on boys, roll it.
See, up the hill.
Hi fellas. What are you doing? Oh, look at these boys. Look at this. Come here. How are you?
Here we have Richard and Benjamin
Come, let's go.
and Yanai
We're almost finished.
pulling him in. We're doing great. What a cavalry we got here. Woo! Zach.
You're right up in your mouth. Jason, come out.
So these Oaks and Blokes just joined us from Kvish 85 for the last segment, but they've come out to pull us through here. A wonderful sight. That's what it's all about. Teamwork, helping each other out. We'll get to the finish. That's the game plan. All in their own time. It's not about time, but getting the journey done, reaching that destination. Every step is a step closer to the finish. Final stage, stage 5. James and I are leading the way. We're going to take you to Lower Nachal Amud. It's going to get dark, so not much to show you, but stay tuned to see if we finish. Looking forward. We're now, by the way, soon going to drop below sea level within the next kilometer, and we'll be going down to minus 219 meters below the sea level. So it's all downhill. Looking forward. Look at this beautiful specimen. We've been hearing these all the time, and we finally spotted them, thanks to Sfat.
Okay.
We find greater spotted frog.
This is the lesser, greater spotted poisonous frog of Lower Nachal Amud. Segment 5 was long, but epic. We stuck together like a pack of wild dogs.
כל המתחיל במצווה, אומרים לו גמור, מים לים, התחלנו ב3 בבוקר בים תיכון.
I just wanna be me. Yeah, I just wanna go so crazy. I just wanna be a freak. Yeah, I just wanna rise to the top. Yeah, I just wanna go reach the peak. So I've been really well focused on success. Hey, yo, whoa,
You haven't done it until you've touched the sea of the Mediterranean and the Sea of the Kinneret. So here we are. I'm going to take you inside with me. How's that? You ready? Okay, come. Let's go. The water has come all the way from the west to the east. There it goes. What a beautiful sound. There's a yofi. Shoes off. Shechiyanu, Tekiyamanu, Vihigiyanu, Lazman ha. Oh! Woo! Thank you folks for following along. Please remember to subscribe to the channel. We promise to take you places you've never been before. If today isn't an example of it, boy oh boy, this 5th segment was one of the most epic journeys. I don't know how we did it, but we stuck together, and here we are to celebrate the glory of the fresh waters of the Kinneret. And this man, let me tell you, this is the man that made the memory for us, James Ra'anan. His idea was to do this, and here we are. He's done it. Dip, dip, go. Let's go. Woo! Oh. I think that's to close the day. We will stop the activity. We have finished off at 83.31. Am Israel Chai. Am Israel Chai. Hey! Am Israel, Am Israel, Am Israel Chai. Hey! Yam Le Yam. Hey! Yam Le Yam. Hey! You did it, boys! Legend!
you don't know what I'm gonna do. You don't know what is next. And I'm loving the fact, truly it's making me blessed. Cause I work on my team, no snakes in the grass. And we have been trusting the wind because of the work that we did in the past. Because of the work that we did in the past. When we went to hours, we barely got rest. So I get the realm and we didn't finesse. So I got the feelings that we might be next. Cause when we go in, we win in the match. When we go in, we win in the match. So that's how we do, cause we be the best.